Welcome back. Today in our Sunday Spotlight, Kim Wills-Rinaldi. For more than a year after being diagnosed with COVID, the geriatric social worker suffered from all kinds of painful and unsettling symptoms. But after she received the Pfizer vaccine last month, things started to turn around and improve in unexpected ways. Kim Wills-Rinaldi is sharing her story with us this morning. Kim, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. You were diagnosed very early on in this process. Many of us probably didn't even know anyone who had COVID when you were exposed and then diagnosed as COVID positive, right?
Correct. It was March 6th, and by March 14th, I was symptomatic.
And I know you were the first to have those symptoms. You then tested positive, and then your whole family also was infected. Tell us about that process.
Absolutely. So I had started with conjunctivitis, which at the time nobody thought was a COVID symptom. It quickly turned into fatigue, and then within a few days, I thought I had food poisoning. Our hospital had a hotline set up, and I was screened by a physician assistant. And she said, "I don't think you had food poisoning. I think you have COVID." She sent me for the test. It was positive. And then the other symptoms, the fever, the chills, the headache, those all kept, on with me. And within a week, my husband, my son, and his girlfriend from New York were all positive as well.
So the initial experience with COVID, you talked about those symptoms. It went on for some period of time with your family, but then everyone else got better and you didn't, right?
Yes, correct. After about 3-4 weeks, the family was feeling better. I didn't. 4 weeks into this, I started having a burning rash on my back. I did a video visit with a dermatologist. He diagnosed it as a shingles-like rash post-COVID, gave me some medication, and then within a month after that, I woke up one day and all my joints were swollen, and I could barely walk across the floor. And even though I work for a health institution, it took me 5 months to get an appointment with a rheumatologist.
Now, I know you told me you live in Naugatuck, so you're at home, you're having these types of symptoms. What's your daily life like at that point? How debilitating were these symptoms?
The fatigue, the rashes, the conjunctivitis that kept on going, it really affected my daily life. I was blessed that my employer let me work from home. Most of us were at that time anyway. But I tell people I would literally get up at the last minute I could in the morning, and I was in bed at 6 o'clock at night. It was just, the fatigue was excruciating. The joint pain was unlike anything I had ever experienced. I couldn't get my wedding rings on and off. Just walking from my house to the car was difficult.
Of course, you were so early on in this process. Now, many of us have heard about these long haulers, as they call people with these ongoing symptoms. But at the time it was happening to you, what was going through your mind? Was there any doubt that it was connected to COVID? And were you thinking, how long is this going to last?
Absolutely. And as a therapist and a social worker, I kept questioning myself, was this me maybe stressing myself out so much? My hair started to fall out. And again, all these symptoms were lingering. We had an additional stress. My mother-in-law died of COVID while in a nursing home as well. So I reached out through my EAP and I found a trauma therapist that I started working with. But she's been wonderful. And she also told me these are not symptoms that someone can manifest in their mind. And so she really supported me to keep on going and get the treatment and the help that I needed.
So you did keep going, of course, and then something kind of unusual, maybe unexpected happened. You got your first vaccine at the end of March. You got the COVID vaccine, the Pfizer COVID vaccine, I should say. Tell us what happened.
I didn't want to get it at first. I think everybody needs to know that. I was eligible in January, but it took me until March 21st to get the shot. I made it an adventure. I drove an hour and a half. Got the vaccine. I told the nurse giving it to me, I said, I may faint from anxiety. And I thought, okay, well, it can't be any worse than it's been for a year. It was just almost like a year to the date. I was sick for 36 hours. And then all of a sudden, I said, what is happening? My joint swelling went down. My rashes started dissipating. My eye began to clear up. And within the next 10 days after that first vaccine, I felt better than I ever had in a year.
And of course, then you went on to get the second vaccine, right? And you used the word miracle, describing it to our producer. Is that how you feel about it?
That's how I feel about it. Absolutely. The second vaccine, I was ill after the second vaccine. I'm not going to tell anybody it wasn't pleasant. It was just as if I had the COVID all over again. But after being sick for a year and having daily symptoms that you struggle with, and I'm not complaining, I'm still working, I'm doing everything that I have to do, to wake up and feel like your old self again, pre-COVID, is a miracle to me. And the fact that the vaccine helped someone like myself. I know it hasn't helped everybody, but they're saying that it's helping about a third of us long haulers. So I just feel that that is a miracle because there's something in there to help those of us and maybe future people with viruses.
We only have a few seconds left, Kim, but I want to ask you, what's your message for people watching this morning? Obviously, a lot of our audience did not, fortunately, have the long haul symptoms you did, but what do you want them to know about the vaccine and what it's done for your life?
I want to tell everybody that make your own decision, but get the vaccine for yourself, for humankind, and for our researchers so that they can study it more and help many more people, not just those of us suffering from long haul COVID.
And do you feel like this is really behind you now?
I pray every day, and every day that I wake up, I'm blessed and hopeful.
And hopefully that vaccine had that good effect. Kim Wills-Rinaldi from Naugatuck, we appreciate you coming on this morning. Certainly an amazing story, the symptoms you dealt with, the result from those vaccines. We appreciate you sharing it with everyone this morning, and we hope your health continues to go in the positive direction moving forward. Thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
If you have thoughts about our topics this morning, we'd like to know what you're thinking. All you have to do is send us an email. Our address is ct21@wfsb.com. From time to time, we'll share some of those comments with all of our viewers. That is CT21 for this week. CBS Sunday Morning with Jane Pauley is up next. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll meet you back here in Studio A next Sunday morning.
Thanks for watching Channel 3 Eyewitness News. Watch us live wherever you are on our mobile, on our streaming news app. And you can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.